What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astro DFS bringing you another video. Today's video, I'm going over the first look of week 2 on DraftKings. Just looks amazing. It was a good week 1 for me and us at Astro DFS. If you guys are interested in joining us, the link for that will be in the description down below. But let's get into the real reason you're here. Look over prices, see what my first look is, see what stands out to me, some of the matchups here. So we'll go to the top of the quarterbacks, try to make this as quick as possible, but I also want to make this detailed too. So we have 3 quarterbacks above 7,000 this week: Wilson, Jackson, Murray. Murray going against Vegas, and we saw what happened when Murray faced the Chiefs. Now Murray faces another team in that division in Vegas, and we saw what happened when Vegas faced the Chargers. Both teams that got pretty upset. The Raiders ended up coming back, but the Cardinals overall looked terrible. Kyler 7,500 though. Hopefully that team is a little more healthy and more prepared. Lamar against Miami. That one is going to be interesting in my opinion, and that's a game where Lamar thrives. Hopefully he gets some running back help, and we finally get to see that run game, their full potential. Russell Wilson against Houston. Still have to wait to see. This video is going out Sunday night, Monday morning. Still waiting to see what Russell does against Seattle. I'm just going to imagine it's going to be pretty good. And going against a Houston team that held their own against the Colts. I don't think they could do it here. But Russell looks like the first quarterback I'd pay up for. Joe Burrow against Dallas without Dak Prescott. Out 7 weeks. That is rough. Really good price there for Burrow against a terrible secondary. Tom Brady against New Orleans. We saw what Atlanta did to New Orleans. Now you get Tom Brady. Those matchups are fun. Watching Jameis face his own old team, and Jameis has a lot more weapons now to try to make that game easier. Stafford against Atlanta, really good price. Definitely a game where I'm hoping the Rams wake up and don't do what they did last week, and maybe Atlanta competes again. Derek Carr against Arizona, like I said, a little shaky. Hopefully he has a better outing here. His price point's pretty fair at $6,200, I'd say. Carson Wentz, third. I think he ended up being the third best quarterback on the slate, 5,800 against Detroit. I mean, we talked bad about Carson Wentz, but he balled out. He threw picks, but he balled out. 5,800 against Detroit. Trey Lance against Seattle. I think that's a pretty good matchup for Trey Lance, and hopefully he does bounce back for the guys that are really invested in into him in dynasties and cards and all that stuff. Tua against Baltimore. I don't love that for Tua. I kind of like Baltimore's defense in that matchup. Mariota against the Rams. Thinking that's going to be pretty bad for Mariota. Matt Ryan against Jacksonville. We saw what Carson Wentz did, and we saw what the Colts did against Houston, so I don't know there. But my boy Jameis Winston, 5,500 against Tampa Bay. He scared me a little bit yesterday. I had quite a bit of Jameis Winston, and he had 55 yards like halfway into the third quarter. Ended the second half amazingly. Comeback victory against Atlanta. Shouldn't have been there, but he did what he had to do, 5,500. Jacoby Brissett, 5,400 against the Jets. I actually like his price point. I just don't like that matchup. Jared Goff, 5,400 against Washington. I mean, that's a very good price and definitely can get him in some GPPs. Baker against the Giants. That's a rough one. Trevor Lawrence against the Colts, 53. That is also going to be another rough one. See what happens with Mac Jones. Like I said, this video is going out Sunday night, Monday morning, so we'll probably get a little more detailed of what's going on with Mac Jones. Davis Mills down here at 5,200 against Denver. That is going to be rough, but Davis Mills is surprising me more and more every game. Geno Smith down there, 51 against San Fran. San Fran's defense might be the play. Daniel Jones down there at 51 against Carolina. That is rough. Joe Flacco, 51. I don't know if you guys saw, but he had 59 pass attempts. 59. Trubisky down here at 5,000 against New England. That is going to be a really rough one for him. I believe that is it for starters. We'll have to see what comes out of Dallas for there. CMC still under 9,000, rightfully so after what he did yesterday. I think if he would have had a crazy good game like we've known him to, he'd probably be in the 9,000s, but he didn't. Jonathan Taylor's got a great matchup against Jacksonville. If you've seen what he's done in his career against Jacksonville, it's amazing. McCaffrey's got a great matchup there. Kamara's going to probably have a little rougher one there at 7,400. Saquon, 73. Finally had a really good game. Interested to see what he could do in consecutive weeks. Joe Mixon there, 7,200 against Dallas. I think that's a pretty good matchup for him right now. Keep going down. Nick Chubb against the Jets, 7,100. Saw how much he got used yesterday. DeAndre Swift, 7,000 against Washington. I like that price point. Like that matchup. James Conner against Vegas. It's the same thing. Like the price. Like the matchup. Fournette, we'll have to see. I don't know what news came out, but he looked a little banged up. Kareem Hunt had a really good game, too. He's definitely playable. Javonte, like I said, I'm still going to have to wait to see. Najee Harris looks to be out from what it sounds like. Regardless who plays in that game against New England, is going to be a rough one. Antonio Gibson, 6,200 against Detroit. Antonio Gibson did what he needed to do to help that team. Melvin Gordon down at 61, same thing. Cordell Patterson at 6,000. I hate playing Cordell Patterson. And it's no disrespect to Cordell Patterson. It's just so weird seeing the way his career is right now. It is crazy. Zeke all the way down at 5,900 against that Cincinnati defense. Josh Jacobs losing that starting role, it seems like. 5,800. Tony Pollard right below Zeke. Darrell Henderson at 5,700 against Atlanta. If he's taking over, I mean, Cam Akers is there at 56, so that's fair. And then you get Robinson and Etienne at 56. It's pretty good pricing there that they did. Damian Harris, you get a $300 pay up from Stevenson. Interested to see there. Rashard Penny against San Fran is bad. Warren is who we're looking at to fill in for Najee. Jamal Williams had a really good game, 5,400. Same thing against Washington. Naheem Hines is, yet again, I'm going to like him all, I think, a majority of this year. I think they're going to include him a lot more. Breece Hall, 5,200 against Cleveland. I don't love it. I mean, Michael Carter's right there with him. Chase Edmonds down to 5,200 against Baltimore. I like his price. McKissick. Always an on and off guy, 52. Jeff Wilson, you're going to have to watch Elijah Mitchell news. Davis Price, too. See who's the San Fran running back, because whoever is probably going to have a really good matchup there. Keep going down. Burkhead down at 49. Kenyon Drake, if he ends up being the starter again, 48. I think that's pretty fair price. Dameon Pierce down at 47. Algier we're going to have to watch for because there was an injury in Atlanta, but I think Williams ended up coming back. Same thing with Fournette. If Fournette's out, Rashard White got those carries, so 4,500 pay down there. Other than that, I'm not seeing really anything that would stand out as far as play. And let's go to wide receiver now. And Cooper Kupp below 10,000 against Atlanta. I have to see what happened with Hayward. I figure Kupp to see Terrell, if I had to guess. Devontae, 86 against Arizona. That's a really good price and a really good matchup. Jamar Chase, 8,000 against Dallas. Jamar Chase might be a great play depending on what's going on with Higgins, Boyd, Mixon. Going to be interesting there. Deebo Samuel, 78. That's pretty cheap for Deebo. Tyreek Hill is 7,100. Like, if we go back, that is cheap for Tyreek Hill. I'll tell you that. CD down to 69, and it sucks. I have so much CD in redrafts and Dynasty, and with Dak going down, that just hurts him. Mike Evans, 6,800 against New Orleans. Michael Pittman Jr., 67 goes up $1,200. That is crazy. McLaurin at 66. Amon-Ra at 65. I like that a lot. Jalen Waddle at 64 against Baltimore. Not crazy about that matchup. Marquise Brown, 62. Gonna have to see what happened with Godwin. It looked like they took him out of the game. I don't know if he'll be healthy, so that's interesting for Julio and Russell Gage if Gage is healthy. Brandon Cooks there, 6,000 against Denver. Same, I already mentioned Higgins and Boyd. Deontay Johnson, 58 against Patriots. It's going to be rough. Michael Thomas, only 5,800 against Tampa Bay. DJ Moore down to 5,700. I think this is like one of the cheaper. It's one of the cheaper ones that you're going to get of DJ Moore. So, 5,700. Christian Kirk had a really good game. A little rougher matchup here. Jared Jeudy, Tyler Lockett, have to see. Hunter Renfrow, 5,500. That one's going to be interesting too. I like Hunter Renfrow's price at 5,500 in that matchup. Bateman's probably going to have a rough matchup against that Miami secondary. Looked pretty clean. Julio 55. I mean, that is the price. You want Julio. Allen Robinson at 55. You want that price for a guy like that. Amari Cooper against the Jets. I'd like to play him, but I need Cleveland to involve him more. You mentioned Tyler Boyd. Robbie Anderson had a great game with Baker. Don't know who he's going to line up against, but I mean, Baker and Robbie Anderson have a pretty good connection. Drake London against the Rams. I got to see who's going up against him. If it's Ramsey, I think it's going to be pretty rough. If it's not, there's a shot he has a good game, but I don't know if I'll bite yet. Brandon Ayuk, 5,100. I'm going to probably take that easy. We come down here. DJ Chark had a good game. Elijah Moore, not loving it. Jarvis, he might have a rough matchup, but I still like the New Orleans receivers. Russell Gage, I mentioned, you got to watch the Godwin news, see what happens with that. Curtis Samuel seemed to be the number one target in Washington, so if that's the case against Detroit, 4,600, even if he's not the number one choice every time, still playing a very bad Detroit secondary. Devontae Parker against Pittsburgh's defense looked pretty good. Peoples-Jones seemed to look like Brissett's favorite target. Wilson down here at 4,400. Marvin Jones at 44. AJ Green at 43. Duvernay had a huge game. I just don't like that matchup. Interested to see. I don't know if anyone else had as much hopes, but Kadarius Toney didn't have a single target. He had 2 rushes for like 19 yards, and that was it. It was so disappointing. Don't know what's going on there, but I hope they figure it out. Other than that, it's a lot of cheaper guys. Not a lot of depth to go into detail. Andrew's the only one above 6K. George Kittle, 59 if he plays. Love that. Darren Waller, 56 against Arizona. Don't really love that. Kyle Pitts against the Rams. Don't love that. Dalton Schultz against Cincy. Might like that. I'm still interested to see what Dallas is going to do as far as quarterback. TJ Hawkinson, I like that matchup, 4,700. Zach Ertz against Vegas. I'm not dying to get that, but I think it's a pretty good price of 4,500. Higbee against Atlanta. I don't know. 42. I guess because the price is down, but still. And Njoku down here at 37. Really wasn't used. I think Harrison Bryant outperformed him. Hayden Hurst down here at 36. That's a pretty good price. Evan Ingram, 36. Especially if Shaq Leonard's out. That's huge. Maybe Mo Alley Cox, 32. I mean, that doesn't get me excited. Troutman, 3,000, but it's a Taysom Hill show. So that's my first look. I'm not going to go over defenses with you guys. Defenses is always just a toss-up. So hard to predict defenses. You kind of just throw a dart and hope it hits. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to see all the content. If you guys are interested, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, joining us, I will have that link for our Discord down in the description down below. So, yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one.